Okay, we're doing 6, 7, 9 to 7, 12 of Aeneid Book 6. We're going to start with Atpata to Recolens. But, Father Anchises, deep within a green valley, surveying them zealously, was reviewing the souls who were confined there and were about to go to the light of the world above. You've got the enclosing word order of animas and ituras, washed by the left, engulfs them. Got E-W-O. You've got the connotations lustrabat here, connotations of reviewing troops, and Anchises, imagining examining troops. And we've got omnem to manusque. I'm going to translate it there. Omnemque suorum forte, recensvat numerum carosque nepotes, fataque fortunasque virum moresque manusque. And he was, by chance, counting the whole number of his family, omnem, quantify, promoted position, so it's emphatic there. The whole number of his family, his beloved descendants, carosque nepotes. The destinies and fortunes of the men, fataque fortunasque virum, their customs and deed, moresque manesque. You can also say manusque is also very similar to hands, which is similar to deeds. You can get that. Recentabat, like reviewing the truths. Bat, it's imperfect. It's still going on. Got the double repetition of far and forward. M shows the certainty of each person's fate. Far, forward. The polysyndeton care, repetition of and. There's a lot of that going on here. Omnemques, carosque, fortunasque, fataque, moresque, manesque. The repetition of and, que, polysyndeton, emphasizes the care he has for his descendants, all his object of concern. And you've got the adjective karos, meaning dear. It shows, again, this is sort of emotive language. You've got enclosing word order, my favourite, omnem, which is a quantifier, and numerum, almost as if he's surrounded by them, surrounded by his descendants. That's the sheer number. It emphasizes the sheer number of them. And then you've got suorum again, which is a personal pronoun right here, right after omnemque. Suorum, a personal pronoun. It's possessive. It makes it more personal. It shows the extent and vastness of it. And we'll translate isque to tendet here, so just these two lines. Isque ubi tendentem adversum per gramina videt Aenean. When he saw Aeneas opposite, alacris palmas utrasque tetendit, making for him through the grass, he eagerly stretched out both palms. Palmas meaning palms. You've got the enjambment of Aeneas here. It's a promoted position. It's at the front. It's enjambment of Aeneas. Represent Aeneas being delayed and Anchises waiting. It's emphatic. It isolates that word. Enjambment. The surprise and emotion of Anchises Aeneas. You got alacris, eagerly. The adverb shows his enthusiasm. He's overjoyed, and it's a very promoted position as well, because it's straight after Aeneas, which is not usually the case. And this choice of lexis is quite marked. It's emphatic. It really shows his enthusiasm. Effusaque to ore, this line here. Effusaque genis lacrima et vox exidet ore. And tears poured forth over his cheeks, and a cry slipped out from his mouth. You've got enclosing word order and hyperbaton again of effusaque and lacrima. This shows how the cheeks are covered in tears. We've got again the involuntary verbs effusa and excidet. It's involuntary. It shows the depth of emotion. They have no control of them because they poured forth from over his cheeks and they slipped out from his mouth. He has no control over him. So it's very emotive here. It takes away almost the agency of Anchises because he's so overwhelmed by emotion. And then I thought vox excidet ore, here, the short line, is stuttering. It's very consonant heavy. Vox excidet ore. It's consonant heavy. It mimics the surprise. It's like stuttering, really. And here we have a dialogue of him here. We'll just translate the whole bit. Veniste tandem. Have you come at last? Tandem, at last. Tuasque expectata parentivit vicit iterum pietas, piety. Have you come at last, and has your devotion, awaited by your father, overcome the hard journey? Date ora tuere, nate tua et notas audire it redere voces. Am I to be allowed to look upon your face, my son, and to both hear and respond with familiar voices? We've got the repeated sounds of T shows Anchises excited, and he's stuttering. Tandem, toasque, expectata, tata there. Wicked and tueri. Those very long syllables there. Wicked, tueri. Long syllables, they're spondies, they're spondaic. It shows that Anchises was waiting a long time. So spondaic. We're just going to put spond. And you've got, again, the enclosing word order, my favourite, of notas and voces. It shows the importance of words. Anchises needs and he wants to talk with his son. And there's interrogatives repeated, rhetorical. There's almost a wave of emotion and outpouring. And the nate is in the vocative. Son, addressed to his son. Nate. It shows the intimacy in their communication. And again, the word order is very significant here because it's the first of the line. It's promoted positioning. It's emphatic. So we can put PP here as well. Sic, translate sic to feifelet. Sic equidem ducebam animo rebaque futorum, tempora denumerans, nec me mea cura fefelet. Thus I, for my part, kept considering in my mind, and kept thinking it would be. Futorum esse, we just assume the esse is there. Futorum. Counting the scenes there, tempora denumerans, and my carefulness has not deceived me. Nec mea cura fefelet. The polyptoton in mea here. Polyptoton. Emphasizes how Anchises is confessing his feelings, and the fefe and fefelet here is the alliteration is strong. It's a very strong word to show certainty. We'll translate quas to vectomapio. I welcome you over what lands and how many seas you have travelled. Get the alliteration of T showing the excitement like stuttering. So that's in te, teras, et, quanta. Stuttering there. Excitement. Got anaphora. This quantifies polyptoton of quanta. So quas and quanta, polyptoton again. Emphasizes the many dangers. And the exclamation mark here, acipio. The exclamative shows the sheer emotion he's feeling, the concern he feels for his son. And we'll translate to quantus to nocerent. Quantus iactatum nate periclis, quam metu, nequid Libya tibi regna nocent. By what great dangers you have been tossed about, my son! How I fear that the kingdoms of Libya would harm you in some way. In closing word or order of Quantus and Pericles. Quantus here, Pericles emphasizes the danger he feels his son is going to be in. There's a consonant of T, ta, tue, T, spondaic, and it shows tua, ta, and it shows the length and the hardship of the journey. The exclamative, there's two exclamatives, periclis and nocerent, shows the emotion, and this is the exclamatives. Nate, again, is very affectionate, it's intimate, it's vocative, it's not by his name, it's not Aeneas, come over here, pious Aeneas. It's Nate, my son, direct address, not by name, it's vocative. Nate. And then we have Aeneas' response. We'll stop at adagit, ille to adagit. Ille autem, tua me genitor, tua tristis imago, saepius occurrens, haec limina tendere adagit. Aeneas, however, replied, your image, father, your sad image, so often appearing. Saepius, again, is a use of a comparative, emphasizes sadness, really. Occurrens, haec limina tendere adagit. Your sadness, your image, your father, your sad image, so often appearing, compelled me to reach these thresholds. The juxtaposition of tua me emphasizes how they are reunited, and the anaphora of tua me, tua tristis imago, tua, emphasizes how it was his father who motivated, and his tua is superfluous here. It shows his pietas, his piety again, and the T consonant shows stuttering like excitement. Tua tristis adagit. Saepius again is the comparative, so you draw attention to that, and it's in a promoted position again, so that emphasizes how often it actually was. So not only does this give you like a time frame of how often it was, it also is in a promoted position, which means it's emphatic. We'll start at stant and we'll end at nostro. Stant sale terno classis, da iungere dextram da genitor, teque amplexu net subtrahe nostro. The ships are moored in the Tuscan Sea. Grant me your right hand to clasp. Grant it, father, and do not withdraw yourself from my embrace. The anaphora here of da shows how Aeneas is pleasing. Da younger dextram, da genitor. How he's pleasing and desperate, so he's missed his father. And da again is the anaphora of imperative. Subtrahe is another imperative, and you've got ne subtrahe. It's almost like this double negative. Do not withdraw yourself. And it shows his desperation and his care for his father. And you've got sic to regebat. Sic memorant largo fletu simul ora regebant. Speaking thus, at the same time, he was moistening his face with copious weeping. You've got regebat as in the imperfect. He's largo fletu, copious weeping. He's crying so much so that his face is moistened. It's being moistened. So you've got this. It's emphatic. You can put imperfect here. Imp. He's crying so much, so it's emphatic. It emphasizes how much he's crying. It shows how overwhelming these emotions are, even for pious Aeneas, for the Aeneas that places duty above all. You've got ter to imago, ter conatus ibi colo dare brachio circum, te frustra compressa manus effugiat imago. 3 times there, he tried to put his arms around his neck. 3 times, embraced in vain, the ghost escaped his hands. You've got the anaphora of ter here. Ter conatus, ter frustra. Emphasizes how he tried 3 times in vain. Frustra. It shows his desperation, and it evokes sympathy from the reader. It reinforces the point from earlier with the wife. Consonants of T and C. Ter, conatus, brachia, circum. Harsh sounds. It shows the harsh reality and despair, as the father and son can't touch because he's a ghost. Because he does exist, but he's dead, right? We end this little page with a wonderful, wonderful group of similes. Parlevibus ventis volucrae simila somno. Like the light winds and most similar to winged sleep. Got the alliteration of V, here, emphasises how Anchises is only a ghost. Levibus ventis volucrae. And the M consonant is simila somno. Simila me somno. It's a slow, soothing sound to imitate sleep. So it's transient. It's not real simile. Similar is also a superlative, so it's emphatic there. Superlative. Got the next slide. Interea to silvae. Intervere vidit Aeneas in vale reducta seclusum nemus et vigulta sonatia silvae. Meanwhile, Interea, in a remote valley, Aeneas sees a secluded grove. Aeneas videt. A secluded grove and rustling thickets of wood. So what's really important here is the sibilant here from the S sounds. It's like the rustling of thickets. Sonata silvae seclusum nemus. Sibilant sounds there, which is going to draw a bunch of S's. And then go Lithathamque to amnem. Lithiumque domus placidas que praenatat amnem. And the river Lethe, which flows past peaceful dwellings. You've got enclosing weather of the river and amnem, the river encircling dwellings. And then you've got a really nice extended metaphor here from Hunk Valabant. Around it, countless tribes and peoples were flying. Hunc circum innumerae, countless, innumerae, emphatic, that's how many, you can't even count it. It's beyond your comprehension. Gentes populique volabant. Were flying as well, imperfect. They're still flying, really. Around it, countless tribes and people were flying. Pleonastic is the gentes and populique, tribes and peoples, countless tribes and people. And it's tautological as well, because it emphasises the sheer number, vastness of people, really. And then you've got another part of this extended metaphor from ac to campus. Ac velute impratus ube apes aestate serena floribus incident varis et candida circum. Lilia fundutor strepit omnis murmure campus. And just like, again, the start of a simile, and just like in meadows when in the bright summer the bees settle on various flowers and swarm around the white lilies, the whole plain buzzes with their murmuring. Got this really epic long simile. It's 3 lines long. It's really cool. Epic. When I mean epic, I don't mean really cool. It is really cool, but it's very common for epic poetry to have long, really long, extended metaphors. So you have the people being the bees, and the white lilies being the river Lethe. So it's sort of this extended metaphor from the previous one that we just had. You've got the sibilants in the first line. They represent the swishing of the flowers and the bees. Pratus, apis, aestate, serena. These sounds. Is sibilant. And the consonant of M at the end here. Murmure, campus. It's like the murmuring and the buzzing, really, of bees. So we've got consonants there, cons. And we'll just translate these last 3 lines. Horusquit visi subito. Cosaque vicridit inscisius Aeneas. Quae sint ea flumino poro. Quive vire tanto complirent agmene ripas. Aeneas shudders at the sudden sight and asks for explanations. not knowing what those rivers are in the distance and who the men who have filled the banks in such a great crowd. You've got sint here, the subjunctive version of sunt, and horiscit as well, subjunctive format. And whistle is a spondy. It's a slow motion of Aeneas. And you've got the enjambment of Kazakwe to Aeneas. It emphasizes his ignorance. And you've got the anaphora of Quae and Quiwe there. It shows there's a lot going on and he's so confused. And there's indirect interrogatives as well. You've got in closing word order, my favourite, in tanto and agmine. Shows how big the number of people is. So that's emphatic there. Completeness is, again, subjunctive. So there's a lot of subjunctives in this. It's uncertain because he's so confused about everything. Subjunctives again, sint, horiscit, they indicate uncertainty because Aeneas is so confused. You've got inscius Aeneas, which is ignorant Aeneas. Which is a really fun play on it's because it's uncertain, ignorant Aeneas instead of pious Aeneas, the piety of him. It's a really fun play on words there because you associate piety with him. You don't associate ignorance and uncertainty. So it really draws attention to there. And you've got inscius Aeneas as well. It's in what I like to call PP. Promoted position as well. So it, again, emphasizes the uncertainty he feels.